Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to lean in, because what I'm about to share with you is not just motivational fluff, it is spiritual law. It is success science, and it is personal power wrapped into one simple truth. High achievers don't live by chance. They live by choice, on purpose, with purpose every single day. Clarity of identity. Know who you are. Let's begin where all real transformation begins, not in what you do, but in who you are. High achievers, before they ever touch a goal, start by answering a deeper question. Who am I? Because identity precedes behavior. The reason most people fail isn't because they lack skill. It's because they never aligned their actions with a clear sense of self. They set goals from a place of confusion, not conviction, and so they end up building a life that looks good but doesn't feel true. See, you can't build a skyscraper on a shaky foundation, and your mindset is the soil in which your results grow. High achievers do something different. They intentionally shape their identity around purpose, values, and belief. They define themselves not by circumstance, but by principle. I am disciplined. I am a creator. I am called to solve problems. I am worthy of wealth and impact. That's not arrogance. That's alignment. They speak it, live it, and own it until reality has no choice but to catch up. When your identity is firm, your actions stop needing motivation. You don't need hype when your habits are hardwired to who you believe you are. You show up with consistency, not because it's easy, but because it's inevitable. You don't break under pressure because you already know, this is who I am. And if you don't own your identity, the world will assign one to you. Choose wisely. Vision, driven focus. See before you have. Most people are stuck not because they lack ability, but because they lack vision. They're navigating life like a GPS with no destination, wondering why they feel lost. High achievers think differently. They live by something I call vision, before victory. They don't wait for evidence to believe, they see it first. In their mind, the picture is already complete. The business is built, the body is transformed, the family is thriving, the mission is moving. And that image becomes the standard they live up to every single day. Vision gives your present meaning. It gives your pain permission. Without vision, discomfort feels like suffering, but with vision, discomfort becomes investment. When you know where you're going, every rejection, every delay, every challenge becomes part of the blueprint. You don't panic, you build. The tragedy is that most people see only what is. High achievers condition themselves to see what can be. And not just see it, but to emotionally engage with it. They feel the future before it happens. That's not delusion, that's design. The human mind is wired to move toward what it visualizes consistently. So they rehearse success until the subconscious accepts it as truth. And if you can hold it in your head, you can hold it in your hand. So ask yourself, are you waking up reacting to the world you see, or are you creating the world you want to see? Because vision isn't fantasy, it's the first draft of your reality. Daily discipline. Master the mundane. The truth most people avoid is this: success is hidden in your daily routine. High achievers know that greatness isn't found in big moments. It's forged in small, consistent, often boring decisions. Discipline isn't about willpower. It's about identity expressed through repetition. When you know who you are and you see where you're going, discipline becomes the bridge between the two. But let's go deeper. Discipline is more than just doing the hard thing. It's the quiet agreement between your present self and your future self. Every time you rise early, show up prepared, study when others scroll, speak when others stay silent, you are casting a vote for the person you're becoming. And over time, those votes accumulate. That's not hustle culture. That's transformation by design. See, most people look for excitement. High achievers look for rhythm. They build rituals around excellence, not because it's convenient, but because it's who they are. They understand the compound effect. What you do daily over time determines what you become permanently. You can pray for a breakthrough, but if your habits are built for breakdown, your results will reflect it. And the mundane, that's the training ground. That's where mastery is born. It's not sexy. It's not loud. But it's sacred, because what you do in private will eventually be revealed in public. So ask yourself, are your habits building the future you claim to want? Or are they quietly stealing it from you, one undisciplined day at a time? Faith and belief system. Think in possibility, not in limitation. At some point, you have to ask yourself, what do I really believe is possible for me? Because your life will never rise higher than the ceiling of your belief. High achievers understand this on a deep, almost spiritual level. They don't just operate with skill, they operate with faith. And I'm not just talking about religious faith, I'm talking about the core belief that the future bends to your conviction. That the unseen can become seen if your mindset is aligned with movement. See, most people live under the tyranny of doubt. They believe in limits more than they believe in leverage. They believe in scarcity more than they believe in supply. And so, even when opportunity shows up, they can't receive it, because their internal belief system rejects it before their hands can grab it. High achievers do the opposite. They program their thoughts to reflect abundance, possibility, and expansion. They understand that fear is a liar dressed in logic. It will always sound reasonable. What if you fail? What if they laugh? What if it doesn't work? But achievers flip the question, what if it does? That shift from protection to potential is where momentum lies. Belief activates behavior. If you think small, you act small. If you believe you're called to build, lead, influence, multiply, you'll start walking in alignment with that calling. So here's the real question. Is your belief system building your destiny or blocking it? Choose your thoughts, because your thoughts are choosing your future. Learning as a lifestyle, grow or die, there's a mindset shift every high achiever makes. They stop seeing learning as an event and start treating it as a lifestyle. The average person graduates school and thinks they're done. High achievers know, you never arrive, you evolve. Growth isn't optional, it's the price of admission to every new level of life. Let me put it this way, every result you want already exists. The money, the influence, the freedom, the impact, it's all there. But you can't access it with your current level of awareness. So the question isn't whether it's possible, the question is, are you willing to become the person who's qualified to receive it? See, information doesn't change your life. Revelation does. And revelation only comes when you're humble enough to learn, hungry enough to seek, and disciplined enough to apply. High achievers read, they listen, they invest in mentorship. They put themselves in rooms where they are the least experienced person, because they understand proximity to knowledge is proximity to acceleration. And learning isn't about getting smarter, it's about becoming wiser. It's about being able to make faster, better decisions with less fear and more faith. It's about developing discernment, knowing what to pursue, what to ignore, and how to move when the world is stuck. So here's the challenge, don't just chase results, chase understanding. Because the person who knows more can do more, and the one who keeps learning keeps rising. Environment of excellence, proximity is power. You can't plant yourself in toxic soil and expect to produce healthy fruit. One of the most consistent patterns among high achievers is that they're intentional, almost ruthless about who and what they allow into their environment. Because they understand something most people miss. Your environment isn't just where you live, it's what you become. Let me break it down. You're not just shaped by your actions, You're shaped by your atmosphere. The conversations you entertain, the energy you absorb, the standards of the people around you, all of it is influencing your mindset, whether you realize it or not. And if you're surrounded by mediocrity, apathy, and excuses, you'll start lowering your standards just to keep peace. High achievers don't do that. They curate excellence. They align themselves with people who challenge them, call them higher, and speak to the future version of who they're becoming. And sometimes that means letting go of what's familiar, so you can grow into what's possible. It's not personal, it's purposeful. This isn't about elitism, it's about elevation. If you want to play the game at a higher level, you've got to get around people who have already broken through the limits you're still battling. He made excuses sharpens iron, ESURROUNDED, by DULLSURROUNDED, by Bzade Dull Blades. Don't be surprised when you start rusting. So here's the reflection. Is your environment feeding your fire or draining your drive? Because growth isn't just internal, it's environmental. And proximity will either push you forward or pull you under. Choose wisely.